Hi there, this is Åsa with a new process video. Today I'm working with 3 photos that I took during our lovely day in Västervik this past summer, and I'm using a bunch of marine and nautical themed die cuts from the Silhouette design store. I'm using this Kaisercraft lovely pattern paper. It's got a blue-greenish kind of pattern going on with a whitewashed border, and I will do no mixed media or anything like that on this page because I think it's so beautiful and so embellished as it is. I will hesitantly cover it up with some embellishments and these photos. I could have framed this page and put it on a wall, but I can't do that with every pretty paper that I have. So in the album it goes. 2 of these photos were like a panorama piece when I placed them side by side. So I just made that feeling a bit more obvious and cut them so that they matched perfectly, or as perfectly as I could get them to fit as a continuous photo. The other one will go below the longer photo. A while back I made a layout with photos from a castle ruin in Västervik that we visited, the green and yellow one, if you remember. And these photos are taken from that same island where that castle ruin is situated. And I'm taking the photos over the bay towards this new building area or housing area in Västervik with these expensive and luxurious apartment buildings. And when I did that, I remembered I almost got struck by this cultural and historical arrow or lightning, and I remembered what it was like before. On this site there were a factory, a huge factory building with a tall chimney that you can see all across the town. And in that factory they used to make matches, safety matches, and it was kind of a symbol for this town. And I realized that I didn't know as much about it as I wanted to know. So when I got home, I started researching a bit about this place because I felt that it had a cultural and historical connection to myself and this area, and I wanted to be kind of bring this further in time by telling the story to my kids. This factory was built, or it started making matches in 1858, and it was closed down in 1968. So it was operational in 110 years, and I think they made millions and millions and millions of safety matches during that time period. I lived in Västervik from 1993 to 1996, and I wasn't even born in 1968, so I have not seen this place in working, or I haven't seen people going in and out of this factory, but it's been a part of the kind of the silhouette or the skyline of this town when I lived there. And in a town with today's 21,000 people living in Västervik, and for this huge factory which had 700 to 800 workers there at most, it must have been almost like the heart of the town at one point in time. And learning about this place and reading about the conditions working there, it was very, very interesting. And for a day or so, I almost became not obsessed, but I kind of lived there in my spirit and in my mind, and I kind of tried to get the feel. It must have been to in the day they worked at the factory, and in the evening they took the matchboxes home and they glued the labels on them, and then they brought them back in the morning, and I told the kids about working in the early 1900s, and just tried to get the feel of this place and imagine how it must have been like working there, and today it's luxurious apartment there instead. So the contrast is quite big, and I thought it was a very interesting cultural and historical exhibition to make some research about it. It made me a wiser person. Oh, some scrapbooking now. I have placed the photos onto white paper, and I've also matted these photos onto blue tissue paper or wrapping paper, and it's a bit like see-through, so it gives this watery kind of effect that I like a lot, and it goes tone in tone with the background paper. I have I have cut a title for the page, and it's the name of this area now when they have built homes there, and it's actually Match Bridge. It sounds really stupid in English, but in Swedish it's pretty. The die cuts I have, they are cut out of just white cardstock, and I wanted them to be like that, so I just placed them on the page, and I think that the lighthouse I even placed up on foam dots. And now I'm just gluing everything down. Then I had to leave this layout for a while because I had a plan. Since this kind of affected me, or it got to me, I needed to just do something more. I wanted to bring this cultural event or this historical time further or with me. So I went online to the Swedish eBay, and I searched to see if I could find matchbox labels from this actual factory, and I did. I was so happy. So I actually bought an old match label with the text on it, so it says it's from this factory. And I also found a postcard, a vintage postcard with the view over this area, where you can see the factory and the chimney that I spoke about earlier, and just the area as it looked like a long time ago. I was actually really happy about this thing that I could find this, and I have never done it before. I have not bought items like this to place on my layouts, but this time I thought it was appropriate. I have cut a slit in the paper. It's below the photo, so you can't see it, but it's just a line there that I can tuck half an envelope into, and that will form a pocket that I can slide the photo into, and also that little matchbox label. To protect the small label, I also placed that one in a card, that kind of card sleeve that they use for collectible cards, like hockey pictures and collectible card games. When I'm placing the postcard and that little pocket in the pocket. I make sure that they just show a bit above the page, so that you can see that there's something there to look at and just pull them out of the pocket. So this is the finished page. I really love the nautical and the marine kind of theme to this page. It's my favorite kind of theme, and it's gotten a box on its own here in my stash. I keep my marine kind of embellishments and papers in one special place. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you like this page and my crazy extras behind the photos. Take care. This is Åsa. Bye!